We're on.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to, I'm going to get the title because it's kind of long. How to choose more even when the clients and cash aren't coming in. So I am Glenyce Hughes. I'm a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. I do all sorts of awesomeness around the globe. And with me is my friend Angela. Will you give a brief intro?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Angella Johnson. This is my first Facebook Live with Glenyce without my braces. So I just want to do a shout out about that, an 18-month journey that wrapped up yesterday. What else is possible? I'm also a certified facilitator in Access Consciousness, and I've had a business for the last 10 years teaching transformational entrepreneurs how to love marketing and make money with their marketing and hosting amazing and transformational live events. So I'm so happy to be here to talk about this topic with Glenyce, because as businesses ebb and flow, and I've been doing this for 10 years, it's like it doesn't matter who you are or how long you've been in business, there is an ebb and flow that sometimes happens. So yeah, Glenyce, take it away.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and I've been in business for, wow, 16 years maybe. It's a long time. And same thing. And I know, especially when I first started, is I would go into this crazy place of the clients and the cash aren't coming in, so it means I must stop. I must be doing the wrong thing. I'm obviously not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And all of those kind of messages and crazy, which wasn't actually true. What it was more from the space of continue to choose, continue to choose, continue to choose. And choosing for me, and we'll ask Angela in a moment what it's like for her, but for me personally, choosing is an action word. Like choosing isn't something that you say on Monday, I'm choosing to have a successful business. And when it doesn't show up on Wednesday, you must have failed. Choosing is every 10 seconds. And choosing is action. So if you're choosing a successful business, what choice would you choose right now to create that successful business? Now, it might be to have a nap. It might be to go hang out with your lover. It might be to do a post on Facebook. It might be to do a sales call. I mean, there's so many different things that it can be, but as long as you're choosing and you're taking action on whatever is going to create the most, and you're just aware of that every 10 seconds, that is how you get beyond the space of there's no clients, there's no money, so I must be doing it wrong. So Angela, how would you describe choice?
Yeah, well, I remember especially coming into Access Consciousness, and I would say, I'm not making enough money in my business to go to this event or this class. And I remember someone saying, well, just choose it. And I was like, I want to throat punch you. like it was just like, but and so I went into all my reasons and excuses, like, but you don't understand my life. And, I went into all like this drama. And it was like, what does it mean to choose it? Like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what does it mean to choose it? And so my interesting point of view is I see this as kind of a dichotomy, like this double-edged sword of like people say I can choose it as a way to override, like, oh, just choose it. Like, you've got to actually put it into motion. Like, if you're choosing it, what does it look like, feel like, be like to be 100% committed to that choice, knowing that you can change your mind at any time. And so to me, I was so good at hoping and planning that this concept of what does it really mean to choose it? Like, where was I using the back door in my life, my business, my marriage, my finances, my health, my body? Like, there was always a plan B. And not saying that it's like you have to stay focused and only do one thing and choose it for the rest of your life. But that was my initial experience. So when someone's just choose it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to seriously punch you. Like, don't tell me that. And so for me, what it looks like on a daily basis is one, getting clear of what am I choosing? and destroying and uncreating all my points of view about why I should, why I have to stay committed to something once I chose it. You know, I'm going to do sugar-free eating for 30 days. And I'm like, but I really want a piece of the birthday cake, you know? And so I so often will go into conclusion, or like, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's like, well, pause and ask a question. Remember, you know, I don't know if anyone else got this in elementary school, but they taught you like stop, drop, and roll. Like what if you like catch on fire, you know, like this is going somewhere. It's connected, I promise. But I think about that in my mind. It's like stop, drop, and roll. It's like pause, ask a question, and choose. Like pause, ask a question, and choose. What do I choose now? What do I choose now? And especially in business where if you have partners or collaborations or team members or other energy, or like I'm actually, you can probably tell in the background, I'm in a hotel room because I'm attending an event and I'm local. So an awesome attendee is letting me use her hotel room. So I have a quiet place and Wi-Fi. But it's like, it can be tempting to be in this room with 100 other people. They're all doing this. And oh my gosh, that's the coolest thing. And so wherever you're choosing, because you're mimicking other people's excitement, but it's not yours, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Good, bad, right, wrong, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So to answer your question succinctly, I'm not very good at that, it's a day-to-day commitment. And I used to be really afraid of commitment because I didn't want to lock myself into anything. But commitment can change, and it shifts and it expands, and you can maneuver with it. It doesn't mean it stays solid and you have to do that thing for the rest of your life. For those of us who like, if we have to just do one thing for the rest of our lives, like, no, thank you, right? So that's a really long answer to your very simple question.
But it's awesome because I think it's what a lot of people go through in terms of when they hear that, well, just choose it. And you do often want to just throat punch the person. And it can be a couple things. One, it can be because the person is just saying it because they want you to shut up. And the other thing is it could be because a lot of times we don't want things to be easy. We expect this kind of like, no, you must take 3 months and go to the top of the mountain and, you know, not eat. And then you will have your wisdom, you know, shot through the stars at you or something. And it's like, oh, okay, well, then I can do that. But just choose? Like, what is that? So it's like, really, like, what if it could be a simple choice? And like Angela says, the stop, drop, and roll, I think that's a brilliant analogy. Like, really stop and ask a question. Like, what would you like to choose? And yeah, change it up if that's what you'd like. But if you don't have the clients and cash coming in, check in. What are the points of view that you're using? You know, because a lot of times, and again, I can speak from my own experience, is if it doesn't happen once, I remember when I first started my business in 2002, I decided that I wanted 8 Reiki clients a day. So 8 times probably an hour and a half is a lot of time, but that's what I decided I wanted. And so it's like, if I would have been willing to stop and ask myself a question, I probably would have got a no, that's ridiculous. But then the other thing is when it didn't happen the next day, then I went to all the conclusions. Well, then I must not be good enough. Nobody wants what I've got. Nobody knows what Reiki is in my small little town. And then those were the points of view that I continued to spin on, which are asks. You know, our everything we're thinking about, we're talking about, we're feeling, all of those are asks of the universe. So even though I said on paper I wanted 8 Reiki clients a day, I was asking for no clients because of all these reasons. Mm-hmm. So everywhere that you're asking for the exact opposite of what you would like, we destroy and uncreate it all and return it to center with consciousness. Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, online, pop, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you guys are welcome in the comments if you have any questions or anything. Angela and I are happy to respond to them if we can, because it's such a big thing where once it occurs, or it seems like that ebb has happened, then we spin and we spin and we spin. Now, the other piece that I want to talk about, one of the things that I could have chose in 2002 when I started my business, and probably would have created a bit more ease for me, was actually having a part-time job also. Because there's nothing wrong with that, but I had a lot of points of view back then. That if I was going to run a successful business, I had to make sure that I was present with my business and I wasn't scattering my energy and all of these really interesting points of views. But having that part-time business would have actually done a couple things. One, it would have assisted with the money, but also it would have got me out in front of people where I could have shared what I was doing. Because back then, the social media wasn't what it is now. So I wasn't really having any interactions, wondering why nobody was responding to my ad in the paper. So everything that brings up for you guys, we just destroy and uncreate it all and return to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, pop, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Well, similar to you, Glenyce, you know, this was a few years ago. It was in 2012. I just burned my business down. I was completely burned out. And I was on this bandwagon of, you know, multiple six figures. And I was so close and I just hated my life. And so it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. So as I was building my business back up again, it was a few months of some rocky financial times, like where I was like, wow, I've become used to making almost multiple six figures in my business. And it was like, wow, I like to start at zero again. I don't know that I could do this. And so so here's just a way that I kind of tricked myself into hustling, but not hustling just, you know, to push, but like, okay, let's pick up the pace. It's time to do some things I might be uncomfortable with, you know, things that I wasn't willing to do, like picking up the phone and calling people, those kind of things, like actually marketing myself. And so the conversation I had with my husband, Richard, I said, you know, let's just give me 60 days. And if I haven't reached a certain amount of money or like seen some traction, then my commitment is I'm going to go get a marketing job again in corporate America. And I was willing to do it when before I was not willing to be that, to do it. Like, no, then I would admit to everybody that I failed. And I had so many points of view. This is before I had any access tools, you know, but it was really a smart move on my part because I did not want to go get a damn job. And you better believe it didn't take 60 days. It was like 30 days. I'm like, okay, good. We don't have to revisit that conversation. And so it's not about like, maybe go get a job or whatever it is. And it might be. I've seen, you know, I've been coaching entrepreneurs for the last 10 years, and I see a lot of people who make really desperate decisions because their basic financial needs are not taken care of. That if they were to just get a part-time job just to like pay the mortgage or their car payment, and just like to take that financial pressure off, would actually open up the space for inspired action and open up the space to truly ask the questions, and not asking a question, but armed with so much, you know, desperation and just like, oh my gosh, this has to happen, you know, that kind of energy. And nothing is right or wrong about it. It's just some things to be aware of. Like, what are you really choosing? And the other thing I'll mention too is, you know, and Glenyce, you're so good at this too, is like, if something's not quite moving, it's a launch or filling a class or whatever it is, whatever that target is, you know, for me to ask myself, okay, what am I unwilling to do here? And who am I unwilling to be? And always there's stuff there. And so, yes, it's about, you know, for me, destroying and uncreating the points of view I have about, well, I don't want to be this salesy, slimy person. And so ever I'm not willing to be that, I won't even entertain the possibility of, what if that's a contribution? What if that actually creates more? But I've just written it off as like, no, I'm not doing it. And so that could be another question you ask yourself. If something's not happening, a class isn't filling, whatever that target is in your business, it's like, what are you unwilling to do? And doesn't mean you'll choose it, but it gives you some really great, you know, awareness of some points of view you likely have that could be preventing the energy from actually showing up to show you what is the next step.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I was coaching a business client earlier today, and I just made mention of a place where she could go and have a conversation about her business. And like, it was amazing the reaction that came up for her, like crying and like maybe not total convulsions, but close to convulsions. And I could see that she was going into the judgment of her for having that reaction. And I said, just stop for a minute. Like, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that all of your points of view are coming up right now. And even just the thought of doing this is what's coming up. Because when we acknowledge, which of course is a term in Access, is that then we go, wow, these are the points of view. Then we can actually clear them. But for a long time, she'd kept them so covered, probably embarrassed, probably ashamed, probably all the things she knew what to do and who she should go talk to, but had all of this stuff. And it was really simple. It was just some energies that she'd hired a long time ago that were stopping her. It was a simple clearing. And then I said to her, okay, so now when you think about going and speaking to them, I said, like, so what comes up? Kind of waiting for another level of clearing to do. And she's like, nothing, I'm good. It's like to go from convulsing, crying to, no, I'm good in like 5 minutes. Like, it's like, if you're willing to look at it, if you don't make yourself wrong for it, if you just see it as information and clear those points of view, then that's when you'll perceive the infinite choice that is actually available to you. So then it might be like, wow, actually, yeah, phoning so-and-so about my bars class on Saturday. Wow, that feels really yummy. It's a totally different space than, I can't do it. What if they hate me? What if they tell me to get out? What if they hang up on me? Yeah, what if? What's it mean? Nothing. They hung up on you. So if we don't attach a story, what else is possible?
Yeah. So Chelsea asked in the box, how do you facilitate when people have big reactions to possibilities? And where I think you're going with that is one of the things that I used to think I was I had to be responsible for people's results. And I had to be responsible for how people felt. And if they were triggered, or if they could sense that tension of like, they got a taste of this possibility and all their shit's coming up. Say, oh my gosh, I've got to make people feel okay again. I took over responsibility for what people were experiencing. And so if we're really in this, conscious conversations about everyone has choice. And so the person who's reacting, when I align and agree with it or defend against it, then I lock that into place and I stop being. And so when I just, for me, it's just like, oh, I'm noticing what I'm noticing. I notice what I notice. Oh, okay, got it. Drop my barriers, ask some questions of the person, of myself, and I can't force people to get anything. Like, that's quite abusive when I, just my own personal point of view, like, it's quite abusive if I try to force someone to have a breakthrough or be okay with transformation, or no, you can see a possibility. Like, I was having a conversation with the networking breaks at this event I'm at. We're supposed to share one of our greatest, strengths and our greatest weaknesses. And this really awesome, she does spiritual sales. So she helps spiritual entrepreneurs who are afraid of money to actually sell their services. It was awesome. She said, one of my weaknesses is I want things more than the other person wants for themselves. And I get really attached to, like, can't you see this possibility? Can't you see that you can do this? And I get frustrated when they don't take action on a vision that it's so clear and they get so excited about it, but that excitement dies. And I could so relate with that. I'm like, yeah, I've done that before, whether it's my husband, whether it's my sweet body. I'm like, can't you just lose 10 pounds? Or like, I'm that superior bitch. I'm like, no, I know best. When it's like, what if we were just the space of possibility and we didn't get attached to whether people got it or not, or if they got it in the way that we think we should. Like, having, done a lot of speaking, I remember the first few times speaking on stage, I'm like, that was awesome. But I would fixate on the person in the audience, like sitting there like this with, what I call resting bitch face. I know that one well because I get accused of that a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I sucked because I was so attached to, did they have the reaction I think they should have? And it was like, wow, that's so, like, who cares? What if I just be the energy that I'm facilitating and stop focusing on, usually there's like one person who's a complainer or they have resting bitch face or whatever it is. It's just like, what if our greatest gift is we let people choose what they're choosing?
Yeah. And it truly is the ultimate of caring. When we allow people to choose what they're choosing, even if it is not to step into that possibility, even if it is not to change whatever that point of view that's coming up. That's one question that I ask a lot of people when we're, clearing stuff, looking at stuff, is like, truth, are you willing to change this right now? And when it's a no, we just leave it. And it sounds ridiculous, but you can't change it until you're ready. And sometimes it takes the person getting the no to go, screw that, it's a yes, I'm changing it now. That's enough to really inspire them. And sometimes it's like, yeah, you know what, today's not the day. And cool. And then usually I do some stuff around judgment of them because today's not the day and they think it should be and all of that crazy. But it's like, really, if we allow other people and ourselves to choose what we're choosing without a point of view, then we actually be that invitation. We be that space. We be the possibilities. Whether they choose it or not, it's totally irrelevant.
Yeah. So thank you for that question, Chelsea. You know, we have, well, is there anything else, Glenyce, or do you want to talk about this awesome free gift we have for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, as Glenyce and I were talking about this topic, we started really looking like, how do you really choose more when the clients and cash aren't coming in? Because how many of us, you know, myself last week had the point of view of like, oh my gosh, it didn't work. Whatever it was, like, this isn't working. It's not flowing. It should be easier. And it's like, how do I get out of that? And I was just acknowledging myself as we, you know, just getting ready for this topic of, I was the person who would spend weeks trying to figure this out, months even, beating myself up, judging myself like crazy. And now it's a matter of sometimes a day if I really am being stubborn, you know, but usually a matter of moments of like, hey, what is it that I do? And it's like, one, being clear on your target, and then writing down, for me, I'm just very like a pen and paper type person, like writing down all the yeah buts. I call them the yeah buts, like, oh yeah, but I can't do it because of this, or yeah, but I tried that in the past and it didn't work. Even though the energy, when you ask the question of like, what would it take to grow my business right away? Like, what action can I take today that would exponentialize my income right away? Like, when you're asking those questions, you get the awareness of something like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, no. And so getting clear on those points of view. But we also have our we're calling it our Lucky 13, list of questions that we are using a lot right now to change the energy when this shows up on any level in our own businesses. So I'd love to gift that to you. I'm actually going to just show this on your screen. Oh, look at that. We're using a new platform that I'm having like a technology orgasm over here. I'm really excited about it. So go to bit.ly/lucky13 questions, all one word, lucky, the number 1, 3 questions. And you can download this guide that we've created for you, and also takes you through 13 questions that will change the energy. The thing I'll add to this is, when you ask a question and you have an awareness, magic shows up when you put that awareness into motion. In other words, you take action on it. Because there's something about putting it into motion. When you see yourself active in that target, active in that commitment, that self-talk, that, you know, the bullshit stories we tell ourselves, at least for me anyway, they get a lot quieter. Because I'm seeing myself actually take action and move the dial and move the energy instead of staying stuck in the story of it. So anything you want to add to that, Glenyce?
Yeah, I also wanted to let people know on that link, and we'll go in, or I'll go in after and link it in the comments on Facebook. Too, if writing that out is too much for you guys, I get it. But the other thing with that, with the workbook, is also the clearing loop. And it's a little bit different sort of a clearing loop, because what I did when I recorded those 13 questions is I recorded them in I format. Because what I would encourage you to do is say them along with me. So you can still run it along as like as a clearing loop and sleep with it and all of that sort of stuff. But at least once a day, if not more, go through and say those questions, like ask those questions, be those questions with me on the loop. They are also written out on the handout, so you don't have to use the loop at all. You can just ask them yourself. But that's just in case you're wondering why they are in I format. That's why, so that you are inspired to be asking the questions. So you'll be able to get both of those on that link. And yeah, like what choice are you refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you chose it would change your business dynamically? anything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, receive, and choose it, will you destroy it and create it all times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Awesome. And thank you guys so much for coming to play with us today. I am so, so grateful when people come and give us their love and their questions and their comments. So, so grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, you know, I just encourage everyone just to get clear on your target. Like, what are you creating? And for me, just when I get stuck, it's just recognizing, once again, like everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. And and I don't know about you, but I was not raised with that reality. Like, this is a fairly new concept. And so sometimes I just cut myself some slack of like, oh, I just forgot for a second. That's right. So if I could choose anything, what would I choose right now? And sometimes it's just like, choose to feel lighter. I choose to be lighter. I choose to let go of this heaviness. Like, that can be a choice that will then lead you to the next choice that you can make. Like, if you choose to change the energy of who you're being. And so just a couple tips. I've given you some awesome gold nuggets. We hope to see you on the inside of the Lucky 13. Anything else you want to say when we wrap up, Glenyce?
No, just have fun. And if this contributed to you guys, if you enjoyed it, we would love if you would share it. Angela and I are going to be doing different videos and different Facebook Lives and stuff. And the more that you share, in case you don't know, the more that it creates for all of us. So if this contributed anyway, I would just ask that you share it and just know how grateful we are. Even if you don't share it, we're grateful no matter what.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. Thanks for those of you who listen to the replay or when it's posted on SoundCloud or wherever you find this. Thank you for being open to the possibility of creating a totally different life and reality through choice and asking questions. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.